Check 1 2, check. Check 1 2, check. Howdy, folks. I'm Dr. McFarland. It is Taco Tuesday. Tonight, I cooked fajitas for the kids while the wife was away getting her keys locked in her car. And we didn't have a spare, so there was no sense in me trying to go save her. But thankfully, a fellow cop friend that we know lived close by, and he was able to stop by and help her out. So that's always good. Y'all come on in. Let me know where you're from, what kind of guitar, gear, stuff you use. I have my Canon camera all the way over here. But you don't need to see my face. You know what I look like. But here's this sweet Kiesel A2 in raw tone. Look at that. You can see the wood grain through the finish. It's a translucent black burst with so it's essentially black sides with a purple color in the middle. And here's the back. Looks very nice. Let me suck in my gut real fast. Urgh. Yes, I'm wearing the Superman pajama pants because I like to keep it comfy during these live streams. And if that grosses you out, then I'm sorry. Because I do what I want. Oh, yeah. I do what I want. All right, so what I have here in front of me is not that one. This one, the Fender ToneMaster Pro. I'm using the Brio webcam overhead because I could not find the other shorty USB cable for the other camera. But I have some struggles the last few days. My USB port stopped working correctly, and I had my keylab go out. I had my little PreSonus, you can kind of see it right here, my PreSonus fader port 16 not function like it usually does, and that was kind of sad. So I went into Staples, and I looked for an alternative USB hub. And man, those things are expensive. Like for a 7-slot USB hub, it's like $70. And that's for the USB-C power or kind of connection. And then the USB kind of connection, the other kind, was like only like $20 cheaper. But still, it was like $40. So I don't want to spend that. So then I went on Amazon and I ordered something that I was hoping was going to work, and it did not happen to work. So then I found my old Amazon Basics USB hub that is powered. And I was like, well, let me just try this out before I, go buy something else. And lo and behold, it actually worked. I couldn't believe it. So I'm very happy about that. I have my keyboard here all working. I have my studio fader port 16 working just fine down here. And as always, you can kind of see this. You can't really see this. If I move this, it's going to mess everything up. So there's the headrush core on the rack slide out tray, which is very cool. Also have a 1/4-inch output on the ToneMaster going to the core, and then I can just bring in signals from the ToneMaster via an effects loop on the core. And that's how I've been doing my shootout videos that you've been seeing me put on the channel here in the last few days, just shootouts between different stuff. But yes, I see we have one question so far, and as always, I have my own topics that's just, I can talk about. But please feel free to ask any questions that you have, and I will gladly answer those once I get my camera situated here. It's not gonna be the greatest, but it's gonna it'll be fine. It will be fine. See, this is now in the way. Maybe move this over, maybe slightly this way. Maybe. Shine some sweet light on my fretboard here. All right, so let's see what we got. From the Traveling Allen Trip Check. He has a question here. I'm sure you can do the same with the Toemaster Pro. Could you potentially, for instance, reamp effects on vocals or drums using regular pedals through the center return on those maulers? Yeah. So, for instance, I have a RME interface. So let's see if I can do this here. See if I can do this. Something like this. So essentially, I could take an output. Let's say it's let's just say it's like 8-at, 13, and 14. I can send any signal I want coming out of these playback options to this channel, and then that can be a loopback. So I could send it out through a device. Maybe I wouldn't need to loop back that, but I could send it out 13, 14, just for example. And then I could return it back on, like 5 and 6 up here. And then that would be recorded into my DAW of choice. So essentially, you just want to take an output of your interface going through some kind of external device like the Toemaster or literally anything else. It can be a pedal. And then you just want to record that back onto an empty, an open input on your interface. So out through the pedal of choice, back to an input, arm a new track in your DAW, record that, and then Bob's your uncle. Maybe. I don't know if you have an uncle named Bob, but that's the way it is. I have a Headrush MX5, but I'm sure it would be the same on any mauler. It is exactly the same with literally anything. So the device you're using is literally just a pass-through for what you're trying to reamp. I mean, you could do this with a physical amplifier. You can do it with a single delay pedal if you want. With an overdrive pedal, with literally anything. It doesn't matter. But if you record dry, which you can through the through pretty much any mauler, yeah, you just you record a dry signal into your DAW, you take that back out, then you reamp it through something else. Now, I would argue that if you're going to record a dry signal, there's tons of great plugins out there that you can just add a plugin on top of your DI'd guitar track. And that's probably a much easier and quicker way of doing things. But yes, you can reamp all day long if you just really feel like you need to. I want to reamp with guitar pedal effects using USB on the mauler. Using USB. Yeah, I mean you can do that. There's a way on the Headrush units that you can put it in reamp mode or something like that, and record it back through the device. There's plenty of videos on the interwebs about that. I'm sure it's also in the manual as well. Never forget the manual, folks. The manual is very important. So I thought I would do this tonight is let's actually make a let's see if I can do this. What's going on here? I'm just going to pick a new preset. Let's go to 155 preset view. And I'm going to show you how I dial in a sound from scratch. And this literally applies to any modeler out there. It does not have to be the Fender Toolmaster Pro, doesn't have to be the Headrush, doesn't even have to be the Fractal or the Helix or the Quad Cortex or the Kemper. Even though each one of those do have a separate workflow, as in the Kemper's case, you're mainly dealing with profiles. You don't have amp models to go off of, but you do still have to use your ears and determine, okay, is this sound too dark? Is it too bright? Is it too nasally? Is it too mid-rangey? And if that's the case, then you might want to go and choose a different profile or just learn how to tweak the current profile that you're on. So in the case of Toolmaster Pro, we just have amp models. We don't have profiles, cloning, captures, any of those terms that you would use on the Kemper, the Quad Cortex, or the new Headrush, the Headrush Prime or the Headrush Core. So yeah, so what we're going to do, very simple. I am going to actually choose the EVH half stack here. And let's go with the green for now. Okay, so we just have one amp head, one cab, and whatever the sound we have, let's just determine if it's too muddy, too bright, too dark, something, and then we can go tweak it. Now, rule of thumb with any modeler is if you don't like the sound, don't always go directly to the amp controls itself. Now, you may want to look at them, but more than likely, the sound can be fixed by your mic position and which mic you have chosen and the type of cab that you are running the amplifier through. Because as much as the head or the preamp and power amp section is important, the cab that you're playing through is equally, almost more important than everything else, because the speaker will act as a filter of, what amp you're sending the to the cab. So it's just filtering out all those frequencies. But we can't separate the sound of the cab from the sound of the combo amp or the head or the preamp or the power amp. They all have to work together. So let's just check the comments here. I'm going to move this comment section over on my side of the screen so I can see it. Instead of using, say, the radial EXTC for pedal effects, I want to use a USB in reamp mode. Yes, reamp mode is what you want. Set up effects loop on the MX5. Yeah, that'll work. I think that'll work, my friend. Okay, so here's what we have to determine. First of all, is we'll click on the amp. And my amp level is pretty low. And also in my ears is pretty low. And I can see the level on the live stream is also low. So I'm going to just go ahead and bring the amp level all the way up. Now, I think that's a perfectly fine sound. If we had some drums and maybe a bass part in your DAW of choice that was playing, you could record that sound and then determine if that sound blends in with the band, if you will. And right now I can see that the highs are pretty high, the presence is pretty high, and we are scooping out the mids. So let's actually bring everything down to the 12 o'clock position on here. And just like you would do on any modeler. So essentially we have gain, volume, low, mid, high, and presence all at 12 o'clock. Okay, so if we go to the next page, we just have a resonance parameter on there, and that's not anything to write home about. I mean, it's cool to have, but it's just not something that we need to worry about too much. So now if we click on our cab, we can see we have a Dyne MD421 on there, which naturally is a microphone that has a little bit of high-end bite and kind of a scoopy mid-range kind of sound comparatively to the SM57 or an SM7B. So first thing I would do, and what you would want to do on any modeler, is take the high cut. We're going to bring this down to like the 5 and 6K range. We'll start at 6K. If we need more, we can always get more. Now, I do remember from earlier, if I go to my EQ on the global settings, you can see I have a roll off there in the global EQ, and that is assigned to output 1, which is what my XLR cables are coming out of. So I'm actually going to bypass this for now. So we're not going to be worried about a global EQ, adding another layer of filtering. Let's just see what it sounds like, what we can do with the amp in the cab. And then if we need to go in later and add another EQ or engage that EQ, then we can. Okay, so already we have a lot of low-end thump going on here. And let's just keep the, this is a 0-inch away mic position. So let's listen to the cap, which is really bright. Cap edge is now going to go away from the center of the speaker. It's going to start getting darker and darker. And the cone. And then the cone edge. Okay, so we can hear and see right away that we are drastically changing the tonal character of what our amp is sounding like through this speaker, because the speaker is acting as a filter. Now, with the microphone being that close to the source, i.e. the speaker in this case, we are getting what is known as the proximity effect. And that is when I have my voice really close to the microphone, it sounds very low. Okay, something like that. So you can also hear when my mouth is farther away from the mic, I have a little bit of distance and it has some time to breathe a little bit. So I'm actually going to, let's go back to the cap edge. Let's start pulling it away from the speaker. Okay, so that's nice and bright. We'll go back one. Then I'm gonna use the encoder knob here to just move it back and forth. So we're on 3. We're actually 1 inch away. Here's 2 inches away. 3 inches away. So you can hear we're getting some distance on this microphone. But you're saying, Nathan, that doesn't sound very in your face. Well, it's not, because the microphone is farther away from the source. Okay, and then we're going all the way, what is that, 6 inches away. Let's actually go like that. Okay, so let's go back all the way to the front here. Okay, so now that we've determined what that sounds like with a certain microphone, let's go change the microphone now. And let's just go all the way to our classic SM57. Okay, this is going to be a brighter microphone, a little honky in the high mids. We can test out some positions here. So there's 1/2 inch. This is all without adjusting the amp settings at all. And this may be boring, but once you kind of train your ears to know what you like, then you can start listening for those nuances and just get right to it, to where you need to go. Okay. I like that, but let's check out a different microphone here. We're going to do SM7B in that same 2-inch position. Now, for years on the headrush, I found a free IR on the headrush group, the Facebook group. I'm not sure if it even exists anymore. But in the files section of that Facebook group, there's just tons and tons of IRs. I just downloaded them all and tried them out. So for a few years, I religiously only used the M160 2 inches from the cap edge. And that was just an IR. Essentially, it was about 2 inches from the cap edge, and it was the M160 microphone, which we don't have in here. We have we don't have an M160. Some people like the RE20 though, which is very bright. Here's a ribbon, which is going to be darker. And I feel like that's a sound that works really well. Just naturally rolls off the high end. Let's just keep going through the mics here. Here's the MD421 again. And the condenser M23. This is from Earthworks. Now that Earthworks capsule is very, very, very tiny. So it's really only pointing at a very minuscule, small area on that speaker. It's just very focused in its direction. So here's the 414, which is very popular. I like that. Let's go all the way to the cap to the 0 position. We can also do an on-off axis. Not tons of difference. Okay. So at this point, I feel like that's a pretty decent sound, but we have too much gain. Let's turn the gain down to like 9 o'clock. Okay, maybe something like that. Maybe do 10 o'clock-ish. Okay, maybe we do bring down some lows and maybe raise the highs a bit. Okay, so as before, when we had the EQ, the global EQ on, now we're going to engage this global EQ on the output 1. You can see that there's a natural roll off from 250 to 125 to 62 and a half-ish. Is that 0.3, 0.5? I can't read it. Okay, so if we bypass that global EQ. Now, you might think, hey, that sounds kind of low. Well, not low, it sounds a little thin. And maybe so. Maybe in isolation it sounds thin. But once you get a big kick drum in there, a nice sounding bass guitar, you're going to find when you're mixing or when you're recording sounds that you just don't need a whole lot of low end on your guitar. So I feel like this is a good sound. Now we could go back to the amp and we can raise the lows back up. Maybe bring the highs back down. Maybe bring the gain a little up. Okay, another way that we can roll off lows, come on now, is we can add a block, go to effects, stomp, and we can add a green box, which is a tube screamer. I'm going to bring the drive all the way down and maybe bring the level all the way up. Okay, this is no different from what I would do on a head rush or the fractal or anything else. Okay, you can see I have a fractal, the Axe FX head right here, or the rack unit. And then I have an FC12 floor unit. So that's all working good. And I'm going to silence my phone. So the title of the live stream tonight is Joe Satriani is using a ToneMaster Pro. And I say that because somebody posted on the Facebook group earlier that there's a clip of Sammy Hagar, the bassist for Van Halen. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. And then Joe Satriani was jamming. I guess they're maybe going to do some EVH stuff. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, he had a ToneMaster Pro on the floor. He had a Van Halen style wall pedal. And I think he might have been playing through the FR12 or the Fender's version of the FR cabinet. So very, very cool. He's obviously a very well-known player, excellent player all around. He doesn't need my approval at all. And he can pretty much play whatever he wants. But the fact that he's trying out the Fender ToneMaster Pro and giving it, a good run for its money, I think that says a lot about, his faith in the product. I also saw about a few weeks ago on Instagram that Seal, who is previously using the Quad Cortex, and maybe he's still using that setup every once in a while, but a Million pedal company, they kind of build like custom pedal boards and arrange pedals and cables and power supplies on there. Actually, let me mute myself for a second. I need to take this call. Hey, Alicia. All right, I'm live right now. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Very important phone call. And everyone is okay. So yeah, it's very cool that Joe Satriani is playing and using, he's trying out the ToneMaster Pro. Seal has a cool little setup. A lot of big time players are trying out the ToneMaster Pro. A lot of professionals and road, weekend warrior type guys are out there using the ToneMaster Pro on different stuff. And it's a very cool form factor. It's very easy to reach out and just grab knobs and do a bunch of stuff, which is great. And so yeah, I jumped on the opportunity to grab one when they first, like the day it came out at Sweetwater. And very, very interested in this. So currently I just have the ToneMaster Pro, the headrest core. I have the MX5 on my desk at work, because this is just a good little unit to have around. Then I have the Fractal X XFX3 with the FC12. So that's all the modeling I have at the moment. Physical units, I do have some plugins that I use here on the computer, and that's all very well and good. So, yeah, I want y'all to ask me some questions here. Ask me more questions. More questions. This is essentially, I mean, my thought process for, dialing in an amp. How do you want it to sound? I think this sounds pretty good. Now this is the green channel. We can get this a little cleaner. And in that case, we might want to bring down the presence and the highs. So this is bring that gain all the way down. Guess you can't bring it down too much. Now at this point, I would want to save my settings, but I can't. There's really no way to save block settings like you can on the Headrush, or maybe store favorites on the Helix or the Fractal. I'm sure other units can do that too. But I do have a laundry list of little tweaks I would do on this unit to kind of make the workflow a little bit better. Because now, if I go change this amp, I can't get back to those settings easily. I just have to go in and just change it out. So let's go to the blue channel, which may be more clean than the green. I'm not very very knowledgeable about this amp, really. Nope, the blue is definitely still an overdrive type channel. So okay, and overall it sounds good. I can keep the mid scooped, bring the highs back down. We don't need that much presence. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to do for that one. I can check out the cab here. So cap edge, let's change the mic to like a 121. Okay, it's pretty bright. Let's bring it back to the cone. Cool. We'll use the high cut filter, bring it down to about 6. Now, you don't have to have it at 6. If you want to have it at 7, that's perfectly fine. Just use your ears, use the high cut sparingly, to where you're just knocking off some of that high end sizzle that most modelers usually have. But it never hurts to knock out some of that extra low end there, or high end. All right, cool. So I like the cap edge area, for the mic position. That's always a good option. I don't really have to save this right now. Let's go in and let's add a delay. So we have digital delays, dynamic delays, echoes, memory mans, ping pongs, reverses, the space delay, tape echo, studio delay. Let's do a studio. Have it nice and clean. Okay, so we have our time. We can have our subdivisions on. So we want this on a dotted 1/8, which is a dotted eighth. So if I tap it in, 2, 3, 4. we're going to bring the mix down. See what the feedback does. So it just feeds back. It just keeps going and going and going until you get it to that spot to where it just sounds good. We're not going to do a high cut. What does this do? Interesting. Okay, so that rolls off the highs. The low cut rolls off the lows. Okay, so we have a request here, which is great. I want people to chime in and let me know what y'all want to see. So I'd like to hear a couple tremolo vibratos in the unit. Okay, great. Let's do it. So let's save this. We'll just call it high gain. High gain tweak. That's not even right. Bam. Something like that. Okay. Let's go to here. We're going to go to this 156. Let's choose a clean amp. Let's choose a clean amp. We'll do a deluxe. Okay, right away, we're a little bright, a little crunchy as well. I always try to keep the bring the amp level all the way up, which is a separate, think of it like a separate fader, just riding the overall volume versus the actual tone that you have. We do have a reverb built in. Get that about 3 or so. Bring the bass up. Now it's funny that it says 51 on the bass, but the knob is more for like around the 6 area. So it doesn't directly correlate. So like 10 is about 2. And then 20 is about 3. And then 30 is about 4. 40 is about 5. 50 is about 6. Yeah, so it's about 10 digits behind what you actually see on the knob, but just go off of what you see on the knob. That's all that matters. Okay, now we have tremolo on the amp, which I think back in the day they would call it vibrato, but it's actually it's tremolo because it's a amplitude kind of effect and not a pitch effect. It sounds very nice. Put this on the neck pickup. Yeah. Now what's cool about this guitar is it has actual 2 inputs. So I have the normal standard input here, but I also have an input jack on the back. That's just how the A2 design is. So it was something very neat is I could take a guitar and send it to the Tonemaster Pro and the Headrush at the same time and then play that in stereo. I might do that in a video here soon. Okay, so that's all well and good. That's what it sounds like on the amp. Let's add some modulation. There's a JC vibrato. And there's a tremolo, a harmonic tremolo, optical tremolo, 2 bias tremolo. And that's about it as far as vibrato and tremolo goes. So let's check out the JC vibrato. since you want to hear vibrato. Ooh, that's in stereo. You should be hearing that in stereo, folks. Okay, let's change the rate. There's the depth all the way up. Okay, now for a wet dry kind of deal, we can do this. Let's go to input, and let's put in a let's see what we got. We'll do this kind of thing, an instrument with the parallel 1. So we're going to add this vibrato to one side. So now we got something like this. We have a dry side, and then we have a effect side. And we can go in and we can turn the depth of that down. All the way down. Something like that. I make the mono, the output mono on this pedal. Okay, if we go and tap on the mixer, we can pan these left and right. Okay, that's something that Dan and Mick would do on their let's see, how do I want to do this? I actually need to pan this part. So maybe the other way doesn't matter. What am I doing? Stop it. I want to get out. What is this going to do? Okay, now that we have that figured out, I can bring down the depth on the tremolo, on the vibrato. We make it really slow. And then we're gonna add another reverb after that. So reverb, and let's do like a cloud reverb. This is really pretty. I'm telling you, I love this guitar. It feels great. The neck is awesome. It's got stainless steel frets. The 2 and 4 positions are the single coil versions of the bridge and neck. So we got all the way back is the neck, full humbucker. Then we have the single coil version. The coil is on the inside, so it's nice and warm. We have the middle position, which is both humbuckers. The second position, which is the inside coil of the bridge humbucker. Then we got full-on humbucker for the bridge. That's very cool. All right, let's replace this cloud. Let's just do a regular old large hall reverb. And then we'll go back to our vibrato. We'll bring up the depth. Okay. That's how you do that, folks. We're going to add a block. We're going to do the same kind of deal here. Modulation. Let's go to, just for fun, let's go to a 70s flanger. We'll get that cool stereo. And we'll make the speed nice and slow. So because this pedal is on one side, we're kind of able to blend in some stuff. Oh, it's an interesting sound, I know, but all right, we're going to go with this is the green Boss tremolo, essentially. That sounds nice. We'll do a harmonic tremolo, which is very harmonious. Let's actually bring this out past that split. Yeah, so you can see that it's a brown face amp on there. He's just making a comment that the harmonic is the one that the brown face amps had, and there you go. You got that look and the sound that you want. Very cool. Yeah, I like that sound a lot. It's good. I want to replace. Let's go to optical tremolo. I mean, something like this that is so easy to use. I mean, honestly, it just makes me want to sell off the fractal stuff because it's just not worth the hassle of getting that extra. I mean, I don't care. Even if you say it's the best sounding unit out of all the units, it's not worth the hassle of navigating the user interface on the unit itself. You're kind of forced to use the editor on the computer. And the Toemaster Pro does have an editor. The Headrush Core does not have an editor. But in my situation where I have these up off the floor, I find it just as easy just to touch my finger everywhere and, do what I need to do on that. Though I know everything, it'd be great if the Headrush did have an editor. Even some really cheap units like the Ampero, the Boss GX100, they all come with desktop editors. Even the Boss Katana has a desktop editor. So if everyone else can do it, then Headrush can surely do it. And hopefully they're working behind the scenes nonstop to make that happen. So here's a tube bias tremolo. Nothing too different than what you already get on the amplifier. Essentially, we have speed, intensity, and level. DC is in the house. I am just hanging out tonight, kind of dialing some tones on the Toemaster Pro. And we had a question from K Sharp 10 asking about the vibrato and tremolo sounds on the Toemaster. So I'm just checking out those effects. Yeah, that sounds good. And we'll do a Univibe for good measure. Now, what's really neat is you can even before you confirm, you can go through and you can test all these. You can see that the parameters change on the switches. So maybe I want a faster speed. I can bring down the intensity. A little too much intensity, maybe a little too much speed. So I can do all that even before confirming that of the effect I chose. So here's the rotary. It's a cool stereo sound. How do I do this? Okay, I need to change the speed. Okay, there we go. You have to turn the knob to change the speed. So when you go into hardware assign, let's actually confirm that there. What we can do is go to switch assign. Let's go to this switch. We'll go parameter change. We'll choose the rotary. Confirm. And then I want my speed. Let's see. I want my speed to be on a switch. Let's see. Parameter change. That one. Confirm. Speed. Fast. Oh, I see. Now choose inactive values, which will be slow. Okay, so there you go. So this is really cool. So the active value is fast. The inactive value is slow. The color for active, we'll keep it red. The color for the inactive, we can make it blue, which is fun. The switch is latching. We can make it to where it's momentary, and I'll show you what that means. Okay, so watch this. We can have it on. So now if I hold my finger down, it changes it to fast. Then when I release, it goes back to slow. Something like that. Okay. I actually don't want that to be momentary. I just want it to be latching. So it's either going to be slow speed or it's going to be fast speed. Now that just changes the speed. I might want to have that effect on and off. So I can turn the effect off like that. And my inactive color is going to be off. So 0 color. So now I can bypass it. I can either choose fast or slow even before I engage it, and then I can turn it on. I can make the fast speed be really fast. Something like that. I can also the dynamics are on. I can make it ramp really slow. DC is asking if it has a good parallel setup. There are predefined parallel options. So you got 1, you got 2. You pretty much have 2 of them in a chain. So I can add this rotary to a parallel spot here, like so. So now I have a clean option on my right, and then I have the an effect on my left. Okay, we could have this before the amplifier, and then we could put this amp in a parallel path, like that. And then we can say we want to add a block, and we're going to put in a Princeton reverb. Actually, no. Sorry. We're going to put in a AC30. Something like that. I forgot. I already had that on a switch. So the Vox is in your right ear and the Fender's on your left ear. But the Vox is a little too crunchy, so we're going to bring that down. We're going to bring the amp level up. Bring the high cut up. I'm still not sure how I feel about, dual amps in the signal chain. I mean, it's fine. These are panned hard left and right. Maybe we meet the pan more about like 10 and 2. I do feel like there's some kind of phasing going on. Sounds kind of funny. That sounds better. Maybe bring this amp up a little bit. Yeah, I wonder what the Edge feels like about the Toolmaster Pro. The Fender has them beat with the user interface. It will be interesting to see what updates Fender will come up with soon. Yeah, they are going to come out with some cool stuff, I know. They really are. I'm really getting tired of, I mean, first of all, my job working at Harrison, I do customer service literally all day long. Emails, phone calls, I'm testing software. When my brain is fried trying to think about issues with bugs and testing software and all this different stuff. And then I go on Facebook or forums and start reading comments, and my brain just like wants to shoot itself. I mean, I just can't. I need to go for a walk. I need to go out and maybe work out, ride a bike, do something else other than watch people just cry and moan and complain all day long about, oh, the Toolmaster Pro is $1,700. It's way too expensive. It has so many bugs. It's not perfect for me. It's not this and that. I mean, man, guys, you're wearing, just stop it, please. Quit complaining. Either you can afford it or you can't. Either you like it or you don't. And sure, there's going to be updates. There's going to be more things coming down the pike. It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be tomorrow. More than likely, it might be around NAMM time. I mean, who knows and who even cares? Okay, the unit's great out of the box. It sounds amazing. It can do a lot of stuff. You know, add in an amp, add in some effects, and just keep it simple and figure out a way to make it work for you. And if you keep watching videos and you haven't bought it yet and you just don't feel like the price is justified, then don't buy it. I'm just tired. I really need to just stay off the internet. I need to clock my brain out. Just clock out. Don't worry about checking comments all day. It just wears you out. It really does. And then questions get asked, which, I mean, every question, there's no dumb question. I understand. But I mean, if you just sat down and read the manual for like 10 minutes, it would answer 99% of your questions. So don't come on the Facebook group asking a very simple question that you could easily just Google or find in the manual, because it's really just wasting a lot of time for a lot of people, having to constantly go on there and just check comments and check different stuff. Or maybe that's just my only issue. I mean, I just need to stay off Facebook more and not wear myself out with user questions all day. Because if I was in a different job, to where I didn't wear the customer service hat all day long, maybe I wouldn't be so jaded about it. But man, I am worn out. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I am ready for bed. I mean, I am dog tired. My brain can't handle it anymore. And most nights, I get that out of my system by just playing guitar for hours on end. I'm literally just sitting here just jamming, writing music. I'm doing something with the guitar, not worried about user comments or anything else. It's just get lost in the sounds and the music and all that fun stuff. So I am happy to be on YouTube. I'm happy to answer questions whenever I can. But man, golly, I'm worn out most days. Now I want you to notice something here. I have a combo amp. I have two combo amps in the signal chain, and notice what happens when I do that. I pretty much cannot add anything else. Well, here's some. I mean, I can add some effects, but some of the effects are grayed out. I mean, all the tremolo stuff is fine. My delays are fine. My reverbs are not fine. I can't add a lot of reverbs here. Okay, so what you can do with that is, we can go back here. We can say replace. We're going to go to amp heads. We're going to add the Princeton Reverb amp only. We're going to go back here. We're going to replace this one with a amp or a head only. Brilliant. But that leaves us without a cab. So this is the sound we get. Okay, that's the swarm of bees effect, which is what happens when you don't have a speaker filtering your sound. So let's just go in. We'll add the let's do a 1x12 cabinet. Or we can have some fun. We can actually just add this to the parallel path over here. Let's add another block. Let's go to cabinets. And we'll add the Alnico Blue. Okay, now let's go in and add another something else. And so you see under combo amps we have nothing. Under half stacks we have nothing, because that takes up too much processing power, especially because of the convolution reverbs. So you want to really go into amp heads and add a separate head and a separate cab. So you do have a lot more options to add other effects and stuff like that. So pugilist distortion. Let's try that out. Let's add that way over here. Now the pugilist is an actual Fender pedal, which is neat. And it looks like there's a gain A and a gain B. So it's like a dual. It's like a dual thing. Wow. What am I going to do here? Mode is blend. Series. Interesting. I've never messed with this pedal in real life, so maybe gain A is down, tone A level. Okay, there's a blend knob. Blend A, blend B. Okay, cool. Let's just go to A. So even if the gain B is all the way up, we're only blending on A, so that's all we're going to get. I do have a session on Thursday, so after this live stream is over, which I've been going for about an hour, so it's pretty good. I'm going to work on 2 demo songs. More than likely just lay down some drums, bass, and guitar. Probably acoustic guitar. And then if I need to sprinkle in some electric stuff, I can just either use the Core or the ToneMaster Pro for that. Here's the blend going all the way full B. Yeah, it's kind of neat. So the pugilist distortion, so we can blend in both of them now. Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's go back here. Maybe dial this back. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Let's check the comments here. I see. So what for me, I want to have clean with compression side and distortion on the other side. Okay, well, fine. Be that way then. Clean with compression and distortion on the other side. Okay, let's do it this way then. Let's take out these amps. Pull this over here. Put this here. Put the reverb after the cab, like so. And this is all very, very easy stuff to do. So we'll do the distortion on this side. And then we'll replace this. We'll add a pedal comp. Pedal comp. All right, so level. So there's just my clean. Let's turn the compression down, level up. Alright, so that's the compression side. Level A down, level B up. Okay, now we're going to pan these up the middle, like so. We'll sneak in the level A. Maybe pull back to level B. Okay, maybe the Pugilist is not the best option here. Let's try the Rodent. Now, you're a bass player. You are a bass player, DC. So let me grab a bass real fast. You can experiment with that. One moment. Let me put this on. Back. I'm back. Here's my Yamaha 5-string bass. All right, now, it is well known that the TMP does not have a bass amp. But what we can do is we can add in a studio preamp, wherever that's at. It's actually probably going to be in amp heads, maybe. Yeah, the studio preamp. Let's actually do a 2 preamp. Okay, something like that. We'll bring the Rodent down. Okay. And then when we need to go to foot switch assign, we'll do on off, Rodent, confirm, bam. Let me turn off this reverb. Where's my reverb? There it is. Bypass it. Now, this preamp, or this compressor, is a little too much. So we're going to do with a studio compressor. Gain, threshold, ratio 4:1. Let's keep it 2:1. I do have a preamp on this bass. Let's keep that kind of in the middle there. Now, I did add some cool studio LED lights around the room, so it's not as stark white as it usually is, which I'm kind of happy about. Also, I have some lights above the cloud and behind my TV, so I can do some other angles with the camera. Major upgrade. I would love to have, let's see. I'd love to have one just out of the price range for now. I have my GTX 100. GX 100. I actually am interested in getting the GX 100 from Boss, because that is around $500-$600, $450, $400, depending on if you get it used or new. And I could easily sell off the fractal stuff, which I know, I mean, I like having it as a benchmark of tone, but it's not the end all be all. I mean, it really doesn't matter what I use. But I would like to try the GX 100. I have reached out to Boss to see if I can get my hands on maybe a GT 1000 core or a GX 100 unit for some testing and review videos here on the channel. I have not heard back from them yet. So I do not mind spending my own money on stuff. I mean, obviously, I bought the Toastmaster Pro with my own money, and I will go buy a GX 100 if I have to. But if I can get one sent to me, either on loan or just I get to keep it for free as long as I keep making videos with it, I can do that for sure. But yeah, the GX 100 is a very cool option. Yeah, bass tone. Did you see that Satch and basically Switchfoot is going to be on tour? What do you mean basically Switchfoot? Or do you mean Chickenfoot, which is Sammy Hagar kind of deal? I have to look that up. Yeah, 2 amps. All 3 of us. What do you mean all 3 of us? It is a very interesting preset, that's for sure. Also, with those pass, I want to low pass the clean side and high pass the distortion side. You dirty dog. All right, here we go. Okay, let's see what we got. Effects. EQ. See what we got. We can surely do something here. We got a parametric, which is not going to be exactly the same. But we have a treble, so he wants to low pass the clean, which means cut the highs. So we'll just bring down the treble knob here. And then on the dirty side, I know this is not going to be exactly what you want, but let's do like a 5-band graphic EQ, and we'll just kind of take down some lows. Something like that. All right, now I kick in the rodent. Okay, maybe I change out the rodent for something else. Maybe I do a green fuzz. Yes. That's not that much different. Maybe do a round face silicon. Maybe I do Octafuzz. Or Octobot. I don't know what that is. Very fuzz. Okay. Lots of interesting options there. A Maximus drive. Hard clip distortion. Output. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. All right, that's kind of fun. Let's see. The Fender GTX 100 combo amp. Check it out. $500. The combo amp. The combo amp. I mean, I know there's a Mustang out there. Like the Fender GT Mustang, whatever's. Yeah, chicken foot. Definitely not Switchfoot. I don't see Switchfoot going out on tour with Joe Satriani. Chickenfoot. That's a funny name for a band. Yeah. I mean, Switchfoot is good. They definitely kind of overstayed their welcome for my ears. The Fender GTX 100 combo is basically the Po' Boys Toemaster Pro. It's just the Mustang on steroids. Oh, there's a Fender. Okay, I see. The Fender GTX 100. I gotta check this out. GTX 100. Yeah. It's a Mustang. The Mustang GTX 100. Yep. Yeah, it's got stereo outputs, 2 line outs, to the effects stereo, not stereo. Well, it could be stereo. Effects send and return. No, that's not right. Yeah, it is. You got effects return, effects send, then you got your line out, XLR. Okay. Very cool. Just checking out a website here. Go back. When I was working at Guitar Center, I basically messed around with this amp a little bit. It does have a cool foot switch. It does have a phone app. So one thing that will be added to the Toemaster Pro is an iPad phone option. I think. I mean, at least it should. But as of right now, the Toemaster Pro does have Bluetooth, because you can play music through it. Let's see. Let's go to here. I'm gonna go to Bluetooth. Yeah, so because of Bluetooth, you can sync up a phone or a tablet to it. So you could have this on the floor, and then have a tablet up on maybe a little iPad stand or a tablet stand on your mic stand. So you just kind of reach over and move stuff around, and it controls things on the unit, which would be a cool option. That would be a cool option. Yes, Bluetooth. See, I have a Boss. The Boss Katana over here, but I think the GTX 100 would be a good Good option. All the effects are in your phone. Is it worth the big upgrade from the GTX 100? See, I don't know. I mean, I think what you're paying for is the form factor and the ability to reach over and, grab knobs and, move things, stuff like that. I haven't really messed with the studio preamp a whole lot. We can maybe bring the mids down a bit. Gain. Yeah, so for people that say, oh man, the Toolmaster Pro doesn't have any bass amps, shucks. Dude, you don't really need an amp for a bass. I mean, maybe I'm just not thinking like a bass player because I'm a guitar player, but if I'm here in the studio, it doesn't really matter if it's playing through a virtual amplifier. I mean, a 2 preamp is more than enough for any kind of bass recording or even just playing live. I mean, that's my professional opinion anyway. Professional opinions. See, by adjusting the mid-range there, by cutting the mids, let's find that spot where it hurts. Maybe 400. I think that sounds pretty good. I feel you, bass players out there. I know you want to have fun. You want to have all the cool amps and gadgets and stuff. But seriously, guys, I mean, your whole job is to be one with the kick drum and the hold down the low end and the groove of the music. I don't think you have to have an amplifier for that. I'm sorry, you don't. So get over it. You're not getting any bass amps in the Toolmaster Pro. You don't need them anyway. I'm playing. I don't need a bass amp to get a good bass tone because I have a 2 preamp like right here. I do like that setting. I wish I could save it, but I can't. But I'm going to go check out the studio preamp now. And this one just has gain, treble, middle, and bass. So there you go. Maybe I'll cut the mids on this one. Hello. Sounds good. I mean, I also have a 3-band EQ here on the bass itself, so I can adjust things however I want. I could have this flat just for fun, and then maybe add some mids. Okay, cut some mids. Whatever knob that is. All right, so this knob is the treble. This should be the bass here. Yeah, it's the bass knob. So put that back in the center indentation. Put that back. Put this back. Cut it. Yeah, that's good. Let's go back to our studio preamp. Juice it a little bit. Something like that. So this was important for bass players to have a passive and an active option if you want that. So you can really dial in your sound however you want. And really not worry about a bass amp. I mean, you just don't need it. Uh-oh. Sounds good. Checking comments here. Checking comments. It's a cool bass. This is the Yamaha. It's a TRBX 505. TRBX 505. It's got a multiply neck, nice small body, active passive switch. It's kind of like a honey bursty kind of finish. The neck does kind of get wider as you go up, which means there's more space between the strings. And there's other basses that don't do that as much, but this is a good overall bass for recording. It's pretty good. Been going for about an hour and a half. That's not bad. If I were gigging, man, I'd do it in a heartbeat. So that's the comment saying you would upgrade to the Toemaster Pro versus just keeping the GTX 100 at the house, essentially. Yeah, if I wanted to keep it all Fender, I could get a GTX 100 just here in the studio, and as an extra jamming option for people. But yeah. He plays guitar for his dogs. GTX 100 and Bias Effects 2 are pretty good for me at the moment. Yeah, I agree. If you don't play out and you don't have, a huge desire to get like a floor unit of any kind, I would say just stick with what you got. Because if you got that foot switch for the GTX 100, honestly, you can change sounds, you can change presets. That's all you need to do for jamming. I agree. I gig the TMP on bass in front of 18,000 people. Work killer using the tube preamp. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, that's right. In front of 18,000 people. Very cool. I'm streaming for about 11 people right now, so there you go. Used a SVT 810IR. Yeah, that works. You can definitely do that. Fort Moore on the Georgia-Alabama border. Manula horn. Randy Upchurch is in the house. Hi, Randy. Southern Illinois. Randy, you better get your comments in here. Live, he needs amps. Yeah, if you want to play through an actual amp on stage, that's fine. You can do something like that. That is perfectly fine. I feel like if you're going to do that, then a Toemaster Pro, I think for me personally, a Toemaster Pro for a bass player is way too much. I would go out and get you a little HX Stomp or something that gives you just a little bit of effects here and there. that you can go into the front end of your amplifier. And yeah, I don't think you need a whole lot for bass. Now guitar playing, I mean, we gotta have delay, we gotta have reverbs, we have to have our modulation effects, our different overdrive pedals, different stuff like that. But I just think for bass guitar, I mean, you're holding down the low end. Now, if you're like in an original metal band, hardcore band, and you're going for a certain sound, hey, I mean, you can do whatever you want, you know. But if you're in a country rock, blues type band, I mean, your sound doesn't really change a lot throughout the night. You're just having a good, steady bass tone, and you're rocking the 145. Ha. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, the 2 pre is very cool. I like it a lot. Uh-oh, he's being summoned. No more spam for me tonight. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for the live stream. Yeah, thanks for coming in. I don't know what your name is, Major Upgrade, but I'm glad you were here. I am glad you were here. So here in the last, let's give this another 5-10 minutes or so. Please ask me some questions. Direct me where you want me to go. Let's turn the tuner on and let's take out this bass. Oh man, that was a stretch. Julio, get the stretch. Busted. I did notice that there's a PRS John Mayer dead spec guitar that came out today, which is very cool. Another exciting news, if you actually have pedals that you use, Daniel Steinhardt from the Gig Rig has a few. I actually had the original Pro 14 many years ago. I try to find that picture on my hard drive somewhere, and I can show it to you in a video sometime soon. But he went from the Pro 14 to the G2 unit. That was years ago. And now he went through the G3 unit, which is very cool. And as of today, he has added, I'm going to save this as, we're going to call it bass. The Gig Rig has added scribble strips or screens to the sides of the switches. So he's calling that G3S for screens. And if I had tons of pedals, I would definitely be using some kind of switching unit. But honestly, Daniel and all guys that make pedals, the reason why I went digital is I wanted the ability to turn on and off different effects at the same time with one switch. And for years, I had used the Boss ES8, and I plugged in all my pedals into the back of that. I even tried another company which didn't have scribble strips, and that was kind of a waste of time. I spent, not good money, but a few $100s on a little custom foot switch thing. You can save presets and stuff. It was just a big waste of time, though. I shouldn't have never done that. Then I went back to the Boss ES8. And the reason why I was kind of limited by that unit is you could have spillover with your delays and reverbs, but you only had 2 parallel paths. So you kind of had to be very selective on, which effects you used and how you bypass those and all that stuff. And it was just a headache. So eventually I sold off most of my pedals. I downgraded. got rid of my patch cables and my power supplies and all that stuff. And I got the HX Effects, which gives you all the effects you'd ever need into one little package, and that's great. And actually, if you're a bass player, HX Effects is a great option. If you just want to add effects to the front end of your bass amp, HX Effects all the way. You can find them used for like $400, and it's the best $350, $400 you'll ever spend. Because you literally get everything. You get all the filter effects, all the distortions, all the wah-wah stuff, all the delays, reverbs, modulations, whatever you want. So yeah. Yeah, so HX Effects, I would do that. And then I saw the Pete Thorne video on the Headrush. I was like, oh my goodness, it has a touchscreen. I so want that. So then I got into Headrush, very, very heavy. I'm still a Headrush guy. I have a Headrush core right here in front of me. I have the MX5 on my desk at work. And it just works great. And so I was big into Headrush. I still use Headrush, but I was big into that for years. I pretty much blew up my channel as far as you can blow up something with the Headrush. With a lot of Headrush content, a lot of Line 6 content as well over the years. So yeah, I mean, for me, going digital solved a lot of problems. As in, you have all the effects you want or you'll ever need. You don't have to worry about patch cables. You don't have to worry about separate power supplies and all those things going wrong. You can make presets. You can make snapshots or scenes depending on which unit you're using. And so for one hit, I can make 3 things turn on and then 3 other things turn off, all just with one switch. And that's essentially what you're after for going digital. So now, do you have to get a Toemaster Pro to do that? No, you can get a Helix or any other unit out there. I mean, you can get a Boss GX 100. You can get a GT 1000 if you want. You can get a Headrush, you can get a Helix, you can get a Kemper or Quad Cortex. Whatever your budget is, there's plenty of options for you in that budget. So let's go back here. Let's actually save that. What's going on? What is going on? There we go. There we go. Here's a Doc Bassman. Very bright sounding. Could be the... Let's do that one. Could be the amp. Sure. So that's really dirty to me. A little too dirty. That overall sounds pretty thin. But yeah, let's go to a different. Good job, Princeton. And this is the preset I primarily use at church. It has all my main stomp box options I went on there. Let's turn the gain down a little bit though. One of the first amps I got many, many years ago, probably about 20 years ago at this point, was a Princeton Reverb 1971 silver face model from Guitar Center. I did have my friend co-sign for me, which was stupid. Thankfully, I paid it off, and she didn't get in trouble or anything by being an idiot. But yeah, I never gigged because I didn't really wasn't in a band at that time. But I had that Princeton for probably a good 5 or 6 years. That sounds good. So then we can add in a enchanter. We can do a pedal detune. Sounds very nice. I do have a boost after the amp. So that way I can boost it up for solos and stuff. I have a tube screamer. Now I do have another pedal in here, which is the tube overdrive. And this sounds good too, but I feel like this tube overdrive sounds eerily similar to what I can get on the Enchanter. So there's that. And then we go back to our tube drive. So I'm going to do some videos here very, very soon on shootouts between different pedals within the unit itself, and also shootouts between maybe a Headrush tube screamer versus a Toemaster Pro tube screamer, and just, you know, back and forth. But you're gonna hear very quickly that you can dial in very similar tones regardless of the name that's on the pedal. Okay, if you didn't know what the pedal was, you're just going solely based off of tone or just the overall sound, you got to be able to just pick one and be like, yeah, I like that sound. What was it? Oh, cool, it was the Enchanter. Okay, well, great. I'll just use the Enchanter then. Because if you can get these two pedals sounding the exact same, there's no need to have both of them in your signal chain. Okay, unless you just want one to have lower volume and the other to have higher volume. But in that case, you could always go to a foot switch. Let's just say for Enchanter, this is really cool. So what do we want to do? We actually want to do a parameter change. And check this out. We're going to take the gain and we're going to make it, we'll make it like 50%. Then the inactive value, we can make it like 20%. Okay, so check this out. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. It's not exactly what I want to do. Parameter change. Parameter. Let's add another parameter. We're going to make the volume go up. Something like that. Maybe that's going to work. I'm not sure. So you can do parameter changes on the same switch. I don't have that dialed in exactly how it needs to be, but that is a way to do it. So I'm actually going to delete that. Just make it a plain old on off. And we want to go back. We want to adjust this. And yeah, that's a good overall rhythm sound. Then we got a boost after the amp for solos and stuff. So, all right, that's how we do it, folks. That's how we do it. We dial in some tones here and there. Jason Dobbs is in the house. Howdy. How do you go about setting all the levels? Master, amp, and global. Okay, let's go over that real fast. So, for the amplifier itself, the amp level is a master fader volume that you can ride up and down, regardless of how you have the amp set. So if you had the volume all the way down, you probably want to have the amp level down to compensate, which is just a fader. Right? Once the volume on the amp goes down, you want to have the amp level go back up to compensate. Okay? Something like that. Let's turn off the enchanter. Hello. Let's bring this back up. Now, once you get that set, to me, this is still a little confusing, but let's just say you keep your master volume at like 30%, okay? You can see there's a USB 2 level and a USB 3 level. That's just how much signal you're sending to the recorder. So maybe USB 2 level is what you want. Let's bring the amp level all the way down. Yeah, I would do this. I would go off of the USB 2 output level, because the output over here, you can see that if the fader's all the way down, you're not seeing any output level going there. So it's essentially a post fader output level, which means wherever that fader is, that's the volume you're gonna get on the LEDs. So you want to really go off of the USB 1 and 2. And that's a good concept to keep in mind. I'll do an actual video, a real video for that. Now the USB 3 is my dry signal that I can record. So in the DAW, you can set it to 1 and 2. And you can have a separate mono track set to USB 3, and that'll record your, you'll have your wet signal and then your dry signal there. So now, this USB 1 and 2 level, now if I bring this down, you can see I don't get anything out of it. So I need to keep this in a nice, consistent range here. See, if I have it on 0, so maybe bring the level all the way up, and then you can adjust your amp level over here to compensate and just try and get it into the same little range. It says hitting about -10. Okay, so in that case, we'll save this. And now let's go to another preset. Let's do the bassman. Okay, you can hear that that is a lower volume, and my amp level is still is already, all the way up. So what can we do? I'm only hitting about -20 at that point. So there's got to be another way I can add more volume after the amp. And maybe I can't do it in the speaker. I can't add volume in the speaker. If I add volume on the amp here, I'm going to start getting a little too crunchy sounding, which I don't want. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm still in that negative 15 range. I want to get to the negative 10. So I may have to, just for gain sake, I may just have to add an EQ after the fact and just boost the gain. So now when I go to my mixer, I'm hitting that negative 10 range. I can hit save like so. And then I can go back to my Princeton preamp or preset. Okay, there's my volume. There's my basement volume. So now I've essentially matched the volumes between two presets just by looking at the LED in my mixer. Now you just want to keep it consistent because that's going to be your visual of how you do things. So if you bring it down, for instance, like say you bring the USB down negative 10. So now my LEDs are only hitting at negative 15. I can go back here. So now, but they're both at negative 15. So that's why I say keep it consistent. Maybe they'll have another update to where they kind of fix this issue. I mean, it's not an issue, but they need to have, kind of like on the Fractal, they need to have a separate little output. They need to have an input signal volume over here and an output signal volume over here. So you can be very conscious about how much signal you're getting out of the preset. So that way you can balance all your presets together. So let's go to the dual dock. Okay, I have no idea what I've done here. Okay, going to my mixer. Okay, and I'm pretty much on that negative 15 area. But I'm losing some volume here. So let's actually add a block. Let's go over, add a block. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a graphic EQ. We're going to boost the gain a little bit here. We could see how the amp levels are. I mean, we didn't check that. So the amp level on the Uber is 100%, but going to the mixer, I want to make sure I have it negative 15. Okay, whether you like that sound or not, that's not the point. It's just we're checking volumes. So I always want to save. Let's go back to my my Princeton here. My Bassman. Nasty. Dual rec. Okay. So I have essentially level balanced those three presets by looking at the mixer block or the mixer section and just make sure my LEDs are hitting the same range of level all the way across the board. Okay. Let's see what we got. IO, inputs, input gain. Preferences. Yeah, I personally would like it if the LEDs were pre-fader level instead of post-fader level. So that way you can use the outputs as your way of knowing, hey, how loud am I going up? And then you can just raise or lower the volume of the fader and not have that affect how the LEDs look. So that's what pre-fader is regardless of where the fader level is, you can still see the LEDs go up and down. If it's post-fader, just like on a real mixing console or a mixing like a Behringer mixer or a Midas or Soundcraft or Allen and Heath or whatever your mixer you're dealing with, most mixers are post fader, which means as you bring down the fader, the LEDs are going to come down as well. So that's what that means, Jason. Yeah, you can ask a question about other pedalboard. That's fine. Ask away. Ask away. Now, I did see your comment on Facebook. I'm not Facebook, on my YouTube video about the Headrush not having a editor. And I totally get it. I mean, having an editor would be great. And maybe one day they will add it. But for now, they don't. And but it does have a good auto tune on there. So that makes sense now. I use 2 out to my interface. Yeah. And this is essentially true for pretty much everything. I mean, the fractal over here works very, very similarly to where it does have an output LED on the screen, and you can go to your block level and you can raise it up and down just like an actual fader, and it will essentially raise or lower the level of that preset. And then when you go to the next preset, you can just level match everything. Or if you have more than 2 amps or more than 1 amp in your preset, you can make sure both amps are about the same level. So Headrush right now does not have an amp level parameter. The Helix has one, the Fractal has one, the Quad Cortex has one. The Kemper really didn't need one because you couldn't have more than 1 amp in a preset anyway. But I've been saying for years, at least 3 or 4 years now, hey, come on, guys. You know, I know you want to stay true to the amp parameters as they had it, but you got to add an amp level, like a master volume kind of deal, for each amp, because sometimes you have a clean amp and then you go switch to a distorted amp in the same preset, and there's just no way to level match those two, because either the clean amp is going to be too clean and too low of a volume, or the distorted amp is going to be way too loud, or vice versa. So you got to add it, Headrush. You just got to add an amp level option. So I do have a laundry list for the Tonemaster Pro. I also have a laundry list for the Headrush Core and the Prime, and even the older legacy units at this point. There's just a few key things that I think every modeler has to have, because it is digital and there is that digital convenience of having a mix knob on all the compressors, so that way we can blend in the dry and wet signal. Having an amp level on all the amplifiers, stuff like that. So, Luciano, if you got a question, let me know, because I'm about to wrap it up. Wrapping it up. See, now that's a little too loud in my ears. Now with a longer video like this, I may go through tomorrow and put in some timestamps so you can kind of skip around. But that usually takes, a good 20-30 minutes trying to figure out where's what and all that. So I'll try my best to keep it convenient for you guys, but I'm really just hanging out, having fun, playing some guitar, and you get the benefit of hanging out with me. Accessing my brain and my my guitar tone wisdom here. Let's go up here. Let's go to an empty preset. Let's build one more. Actually, this has a lot of reverbs in it. I don't want to do that. Let's go to this one. Yeah. All right, we're gonna add an amp head. JCM 800. We'll add a block. We'll add a cab. Let's do the greenback. All right, so right away, we want to bring up the amp level. We can hear our mixer. Make sure we're hitting that -15 area right there. And then from there, we can just maybe bring down the gain on the amp. Okay, that sounds good already. Maybe do a little cone action. Cap edge action, bring the high cut down. Maybe we want to go to our EQ and set that to our output. So that way we kind of roll off some low end. Maybe we add some delay, some dynamic delay. Let's do a digital delay. And feedback, mix down. I'm going to go to my website real fast and let's play along with the backing track so we can play out of the live stream here. I'm doing 52 backing tracks this year. This is a one-time $20 fee to access all 20 or all 52 backing tracks. So if you want to help support the channel, I mean, I'm fine with super chats and all that stuff, but really just go to my website and buy a course, whether that's a head rush course, a backing tracks course, all that good stuff. So we're going to go to view product. Now let's see what I got. Bold groove in D minor. I don't even know what this is, but I'm sure it's fine. Ah, I see. Okay. Oh, do. Okay. Maybe raise the gain up a little bit. Take that in the presence. Gain. this one. I like this B minor one here. Maybe. Do I like this one? I don't know. No, I don't like that one. I like, I mean, I like them all. Come on. But Driving Groove in G, sure. No, I don't like that one either. I mean, I like it. I mean, I like them all. Come on. But, see what this one is. Yeah. All right, we're going to rewind it. Get to my mixer here. Oh, wow. That wasn't good. Now, you should be hearing what I'm hearing. Should be. Hold on. How are you doing that? Weird. This mix should be copied over. There we go. Alright, here we go. You might sell a fractal FM9. Actually, I already sold the FM9. Yes, it's sad. So, I essentially had FM9, and then I traded it for the XFX3 rack. Because it was a good deal. I didn't really need the FM9 to play out. So I just Then I saw that the FM9 was back in stock, so then I bought another one, because I'm an idiot. Then I sold that one, so I lost money on that. And then, like 2 weeks later, Fractal came out with a $15.99 offer, basically saving $100 for the retail price. But you still have to add tax, you still have to add shipping onto that. So after $15.99, it's probably going to be back up to like $17.50, close to $18, depending on how much tax and how much shipping is in your area. But yeah, so I have sold the FM9. I'm keeping the Axifx 3 and the FC12 foot switch for now. I need to do some more videos on this setup. I'm just slammed this week. So I got 2 demos to work on. Lessons on Thursday, session Thursday night. And Friday I do have music club. So if you're in the area, you want to come jam. The TMP is really good. Yeah, I agree. I'm not too sad about selling the FM9. I mean, honestly, the sounds I can get with this unit alone, this is really good. Let's try a V30. So on a greenback, if you feel like it bites too much, then just use a Vintage 30. It's usually a smoother top end. We can do a T75. See, I don't like the sound of that at all. That's too woolly. That didn't do it for me. I'm not too happy about that. Yeah, I mean, I think most of these are going to be like mic position issues, but so really the British greenback or the British Jubilee 30. I'm pretty happy with that. You could do something like this. This would be really simple. So we're going to add real fast. It'll not be done, I promise. Maybe. I'm in jam mode right now, so I'm just jamming my cares and all my woes away from a long day of technical support. Alright, here we go. Alright, so now I have a greenback on one side and a Vintage 30 on the other side. That's kind of fun. I like doing something like that. You can add delay after the fact. You can add reverb after the fact. Let's do a modulator called that's a fine option to get 2 different cabs. I can even go as far as saying I want this one to have I want this one to have the Vintage 30, which is usually darker. I want this to have a 57. kind of taking the natural mid-rangey bitiness and smoothing it out with the 121. And then I'm taking the usual scoopier, smoother sounding one and I'm adding a bright. So I'm going to say this is a now, if you're going out mono, it really doesn't matter. So let's just pan these. And now you're using the level knobs to balance. Now that concept right there is essentially what my Doc McFarlane IR pack from Sonic DNA. That's what we did with my 2x12 cab. We have a 57, we have a 421, and a 121. We have different combinations by moving the faders up and down and getting that different balance of sounds. What's that music playing? Is it still playing? Nothing should be playing right now. The music that was playing is my backing track for my website. If I didn't make that clear. Looking good. I'm showing one of my students your channel. Nice. Yeah, 52 backing tracks this year. I got different genres. I got jazz, rock, blues, stuff like that. I think I have decided I'm going to do one blues track a month, which will give me all 12 keys. So I might even do two different kinds a month. I'll pick a key, and I'll do like a slow blues. I'll do like a fast blues, and then the next month I'll do the same kind of thing, but in a different key. So that way each month you get a new key and a new style of blues. Then I can do jazz, I can do pop, rock, metal, hard rock, whatever genre you want. But now, if you don't like that sound, there's just a plethora of amps in here. Let's do a Jubilee lead. All right. This is a situation where I would normally probably not naturally try out the Jubilee because I think it's not something I would usually use, but this is a great sound. Okay, I like that so much. Let's try the rhythm. So once again, the volume's too low, so I'm bringing the amp level up. Back to lead. Goodness gracious. Presence down. Now the master volume on an amplifier the higher you have that, the more power amp distortion you're going to get. So if you want to have a nice clean sound, you want to keep that master down pretty low. And then, which I just don't know if there's a good clean on a Jubilee. Maybe bring the gain down more. Okay, that's not the amp I would use for a clean sound, but the lead is just fine. Ooh, that sounds really good. The Friedman. All right, go back to our mixer. Now you can see the palm muting is getting up in that -10. But my overall average volume is -15. That's where the fractal really shines, is allowing you to go in and do like multi-band compression. You can tweak the definition of the tone stack, all kinds of cool stuff. But you're not really getting that with a Headrush or a ToneMaster Pro. Literally, fractal is the kitchen sink of everything you'd ever want to do on an amp. But that sounds good. Maybe, just maybe, let's do... see, I'm used on the Headrush having a gate on the input, but maybe we just need to go here. And we need to add a gate. Because I am right by all this gear. And my pickups are screaming at me. So now I stop and then it shuts it off. So that's good. There are other kinds of gates. There's just a noise gate. Backing track was too loud. Couldn't hear a thing you were playing or saying. Yeah, sorry about that. At first I had some weird settings going on. So I'm still, I gotta get used to that hearing, because I have a headphone mix, but then there's also a live stream mix. And I tried to have that mirrored on both. But it should be the same. See, if I bring it down here, it should be mirrored on my headphones, but it's not. So if I go here and bring it up, go back to headphones. See, it's not carrying over 1-for-1. And it should be. So I'm gonna have to do some research on that and see why it's not doing it. Alright, so if you want a really scoopy sound, then the Friedman is good. But I really like this Jubilee lead. So I could probably shoot out the Jubilee and the Friedman and see if I can get it close. And if I can, then I just kind of pick one and not worry about the other one. And that's the thing to think about when you're getting a digital modeler is most everyone wants the most amount of amps they can get possible. Like on the Fractal, you get over 200 some odd amps, right? That includes different channels of the amp and stuff, I know. But honestly, guys, I mean, you really just need a good clean sound. You need a good scoopy kind of lead sound or a distorted sound. It's good to have a more mid-rangey kind of distorted sound. And that gives you pretty much the full gamut of everything you'd ever need for recording, for playing live, just getting different tones. So like a Brit 800, a Jubilee, and maybe you had maybe like a dual rack. I mean, shoot, I love these dual racks. That sounds really cool. See, to me, that's a little too much. So I think the Jubilee is a good balance. Once again, shout out to Kiesel Guitars. This thing is just a dream to play. Sounds really good. Plays really good. Let me take this down here. Yeah, I love the body style. Just the overall look and aesthetic. It's very, very cool. Yeah, I love it. All right. We're still going strong, guys. 13 viewers. Apparently, you just like what's going on. So if you got questions, feel free to ask. It's only 11 o'clock my time. I will hang out as long as you want. And then I'll just have to wake up early in the morning and do these demos before my Thursday session. I am very happy with that sound. So let's just say, for example, I have that amp. I like it. I'm going to add in another amp head, and I'm going to make it a Princeton reverb. Okay. Now what we're going to do is go into foot switch assign. We'll just go to here. We'll do on off. So we're going to choose both of these. And check this out. So, sorry. So when this red is on, we're going to make it the British option, which means we need to tap on the Fender and turn it off. So now if I save that, and then go back and forth, you can see I'm toggling between the two amplifiers there. And I'm sorry that the screen is not as it's just too much, really. Let's see if I turn this off. Know if that makes it too dark or not. I'm liking this blue hue back here, which is kind of neat. And you could make it to where you had a like a compressor turn on when that amp turns on. You can make it to where a tube screamer turned on when the lead channel turned on. You can have one foot switch can literally switch between two different completely, just completely different sounds. A great clean, a great crunch, or lead sound, whatever you want. If we look at our mixer, go back. So I'm kind of hitting that negative 15 range. Make sure my amp level's all the way up. I could go here. I could bring down the amp level of the dirt channel. So whatever needs to happen, if you have a very low, that's not what I want to do. If you have a very low volume on your amp, shoot, what am I doing here? So if you have a low volume on your clean amp and you have the amp level all the way up, then you just essentially need to go to your dirt channel and use this as a master fader to bring the amp level down so you can just kind of balance out the two sounds. So that's at my negative 15. I don't know about you guys, but that is sick. Now, one thing I can do is, what do I want to do here? So on this one, I'm going to turn off the noise gate. And actually that's on for that. So what I want to do is bypass it on that state and then turn it on for that state. So the noise gate is off for the Princeton. I just don't need it on for the Princeton. Then the noise gate is on for the British. Cool. All right, so I'm going to tap on this, press clear. We'll do dock. Dual amp. Save. And then I'll go in on the cloud. I actually have to pull up the ToneMaster software here. Then I'll go to the cloud. Actually, what do I want to do? I'll just go here. Dock dual amp. I'll type in my name. Dr. McFarland. And we will song not required. Genre. Classic rock. Do I have to put it in the description? Great dual amp preset. Post. All right, go on to the ToneMaster Pro cloud and grab the dual dock amp and let me know what you think. Steve Ferron, hoping for a lot of workflow improvements and shortcuts in the next update. A better parametric EQ for end of signal mastering, and volume and pan controls on the effects loops 3 and 4. Yeah, sure. That'd be good. That will be just fine with me, whatever they want to do. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm not going to change that anymore. That sounds good. So we have 2 different amp heads. We have 2 different cabs that we are doing, that we're essentially blending together. A greenback and a vintage 30. And a little delay, a little reverb. Try to keep it simple, folks. Keep it simple. All right. It's about 11:10 my time. That's a 2-hour and 43-minute live stream. Thank you, folks, for hanging in there. It's been fun. There's my tuner. Here's my guitar. The Kiesel. The Kiesel. And the Superman pajama pants. Yes. I do it all, folks. I do it all. Be on the lookout for some more shootout videos between the Headrush and the Toemaster Pro. I'm kind of going through some amps right now. And then probably next week I'll do drive pedals. Do different drive pedals. So that'll be fun. And trying to decide what I want to do for the month of December as far as videos here on the channel. Maybe do some more Fractal stuff. Fractal firmware update 23 has been released for public consumption. And that gives you gapless switching between presets, scenes, and channels, which is a huge update for the Fractal world. Because before there was a gap in the preset switching. And Toemaster Pro has 0 gaps anywhere. You can switch from one rig or one preset to the next. All your delays and reverbs carry over. Your amps switch over seamlessly, which is great. But Fractal is stepping it up over here. So they are adding some gapless options into the guitar world. Headrush has always had seamless switching. I wouldn't say it's gapless totally though. I mean, I would say the Headrush has spillover between presets or rigs. But the amp switching could be a little bit faster. So maybe if they worked on that more and not worried about new pedals and new amps and stuff, just kind of keep working on workflow things and making everything a lot quicker as far as the switching goes, that would be awesome. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks guys for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.